Okay, this is the last of the Bible books in the New Testament that I had to abstract and do the meters on. I haven't posted all the videos that I've created, but I will be, over the next couple of days, over the weekend, because starting on Monday, I have to go to work. So I won't be doing as many videos. I'll just be doing the weekly God Deeds videos. So here we go. We're going to do Philemon, and then I'll flood you guys with, videos on the other NT books I haven't posted yet over the weekend. Philemon is both easy and quintessentially difficult. It's just a very short 25-verse letter where Paul says, hi, you had a runaway slave named Onesimus, which means useful, Mr. Useful is what you want to call him. And he believed in Christ while I was in my imprisonment. So now that I'm imprisoned and he's your slave, I want you to free him. That's basically it. But, everything with Paul, he's like this opportunist. Okay, whenever he gets a personal issue, he uses it as an excuse to turn it into a Bible doctrine or to relate Bible doctrine to it, which is kind of how we ought to live our lives too, if we want to have fun with it. See, what's killing me about this story, Philemon and everything else, is that religion is out to make God boring. If God were really boring, then why believe in him? Okay? What, just so that he won't hurt you? Go kill yourself now then. That's what I do. If I didn't know God, I'd kill myself because I don't see any reason to live. I mean, yeah, life is okay. You have your moments and you have your friends, but in the final analysis, everything dies. So it's not worth it to live if everything dies. Okay, but God doesn't die, and my life isn't going to die. When I die in this body, I get to see his body. Yeah, okay, now I want to live. But if he's boring, then I don't want to live. Well, he's not boring. It's funny. And here's proof that he's funny in a letter by Paul. I should talk softer. In a letter by Paul, a runaway slave ended up getting connected to Paul. A runaway slave of somebody Paul knew named Philemon. This runaway slave believed in Jesus Christ and now is a slave to Christ. So Paul, who was also a slave to Christ, okay, prisoner. Hi, I'm a prisoner of Jesus Christ. Now, who would brag about that? Well, if you really love your master, you enjoy being a slave. That's the point. Enjoying your slavery. Enjoy even being a prisoner and even being in chains, which is where desmios comes from. It means to be manacled. That's why it means prisoner. Okay? Paul was sitting in Rome, apparently at some point during his time in Rome, because he rented a house and he had some Praetorian guards that he was allegedly chained to. I'm not sure how true that idea is, but he was under house arrest. That much is true. Book of Acts records it summarily. Okay? Paul's under house arrest, allegedly chained between two Praetorian guards, just spouting off this scripture off the top of his head, and somebody else is writing it down, whether it's Timothy in this case or somebody else. Okay? Paul's having a ball. So then we can too. Slavery is freedom and freedom is slavery. That's what this letter's about. Okay, so how do we understand this? Well, the Lord died when he was 33. Are you getting tired of seeing this now? Every time I pull up a Bible meter book, it's got 32 or 33 or 30 something evocative of the Lord's ministry, or usually when he died. Only this time, it's not listing him by name. Okay? This time 33 is paired up with my fellow worker. Sonergoi. Ergoi. And ergoi was a worker. Actually, comes from ergon. Means to do work, labor. Something you don't want to do. And when you got a bunch of them doing it together, you're sunergoi. So now were linked up with the work of Christ. Isn't that cute? If you didn't know what that 33 was and you didn't know that was a meter, would you get this meaning out of the English? Oh no. You would get, dear to Philemon, the beloved and co-worker ours. And then you'd fall asleep or think, oh my God, another boring religious sermon. As if God has to be boring to be majestic. Oh, but 33? Christ died when he was 33. Honey, I'm twice that age almost. That's cute. Link it up with Sunergoi. See? Christ died and you're in him, so you're Sunergoi with him. Isn't that cute? Witty. Hello? Just like this is witty. Paul, the prisoner of Jesus Christ. Actually, he's a prisoner of Rome, but it is his own fault because he appealed to Caesar after his 2-year period ran up. And since the statute of limitations had expired on it charging him, he was supposed to be set free. Okay, that's what you find out in the book of Acts. But he said, oh, I appeal to Caesar because Christ said, you're going to go to Rome for me. So Paul just waited. Yeah, I'm a prisoner of Jesus Christ. Hey, honey, make me a prisoner of you. I would rather be your prisoner than be ruler of the world. You're the ruler of the world. Can I be your prisoner? Can I be like your lowest pocket handkerchief? I'd rather be that than ruler of the world. See, that's first temptation in Matthew 4, third temptation in Matthew 4. Witty, huh? Okay, so I'll shut up now. 63 is our dateline, first dateline. What do you think that means? Since this was a dateline and this is 30 years later, what do you think Paul is saying? Oh, I'm writing you in the year that Christ is 63 years old. He's really almost 64. This might be written the day before his 64th birthday. How do I know that? Well, because the way the meter works, which you're just going to have to download and read, because I don't feel like explaining it. You need to do the math. This will make you laugh. Sure did me. Okay? But Patton, hello, see? You want to know when Paul wrote Philemon? Why don't you count the syllables, people? I'm 60, he's supposed to be 63 years old. See, years from a king. Everybody knows that's how everybody in the ancient world dated their books. They're writing in the X year from the king, in X year from Abur Bekondita. Well, here's the king. His name is Jesus Christ. He was identified in the first line. He died at age 33 if you counted your syllables. And oh, well, now we're at 63 and that's divisible by 7. That's the dateline. And what is the most obvious dateline that it could be? Especially since you knew when you got the letter what year it was. It has to be when he's 63. Okay, but we didn't know what year it was. Okay, well, here you are. When the Lord is 63. So now we can fix all of our calendars, all of our datelines, take all the millions of dollars we've spent debating the dates in the Bible, especially in the New Testament when he was born, and just say, hi, can we now spend that same money on something more productive? Because, see, the Bible's been telling us the answer all along, but we didn't know how to find it. Well, now you know. See, you count the syllables, and when they 7 for the first time, that's a dateline. Moses established that. Actually, it's probably in Genesis 1 first, but I haven't done it yet. Moses established that in Psalm 90, and all the Jews know about it. Why didn't we ask them? Well, not all the Jews today know it, but they used to know. That's why this is used. Everybody used to know. Okay, so 63 is your dateline. And guess what? Since that's his age and we have to count up 3 years, then we have to say that this was written in 66 AD, which of course it was, 4167 Adamic. And then how do you test that? Well, I wrote it all out here so you can play with it. The second one, the second date line is a little harder, 140. It's prophetic for the Bar Kokhba revolution coming up. This is the AD year when Bar Kokhba begins, which Paul had already shown in the book of Ephesians. And this is the year when the temple is raised, and Hadrian's been dead for 2 years at this point, but he was the guy who sponsored it being raised. Temple's been raised again, and Jerusalem is raised with it, and now the place is called Aelia Capitolina. So why did Paul hook up this message, this dateline, with this text? Now the answer to that question is I don't know. I only know what it means. I don't know why it's hooked up with this text. And the other thing is that you're supposed to split this in two like you had to do with the 63. And see, I showed how the 63 splits in two. It's really cute. But the 140 splitting in two, that's not so easy to find out what he's playing on. Maybe Herod rededicating the temple in 10 BC, because 70 years prior to 66 BC is 10 BC, roughly. Okay? What's the pun there? I'm not sure. But I played with the ideas, and I'm going to have to revise this at some point. Okay? 140 years prior to when Paul writes is 79 BC. What's that? I don't know. I'm not sure what he means to play on with 10 BC, and I don't know what he means to play on with 79 BC. I just know what this meter means in the future. Okay? But I don't know now any more than I'm telling you. Okay, last meter is 175, and I wrote on here how it plays on Moses, and of course, as usual, on the Magnificat. That's a real cute play in Luke 153. But you'll just have to go look at the Magnificat document on the last page, and you'll see it yourself. Because I did a metered translation of it too. One of these days, I'm going to do a metered translation. Well, there's really not much to translate here, so that's why I'm not going to bother. You can read your English Bible. But I will be abstracting some of the other ones with the metered translation. But at this point, this is it. I'm done with the New Testament now, for now. You got any criticisms or helps? Let me know. The only other thing to notice is see Paul's playing with Trinity again. He's playing with Trinity again. Why? I don't know. So preview of coming contractions. This is the meter in Philemon. And it's now part of the Luke Dateline meter. So the Luke Dateline meters, which is right here, this document, that's fully updated now. So you can see all the meters for the New Testament on 2 pages. Peace out.